Well, it's been another incredibly fantastic week of trading in the Platinum Trading Group, and this week I've had several people tell me that they've experienced the best week they've ever had in trading, and some people have told me this week that after trading for several years and trying many different trading methods and trading strategies, this is the first time that they feel that they are really able to trade with substantial consistent profit. Let's take a look at some of the trades that happened this week, and we'll see if there are any trades that may be forming for early next week. Today's March 26, 2011, by the way, so this would refer to anything that might be happening this Monday. On the euro versus the dollar, we did go short on this pair. I'm showing all this on naked charts with nothing but candlesticks on here so that later you can enjoy having the aha experience associated with having the hidden pictures revealed that show why we would enter these trades and why we would not enter at certain other times and why we exit at a specific point, why we don't exit until a specific phenomenon happens on the charts. This entry required watching a range of time frames from the daily all the way down to the 1 hour time frame. We went short on the euro, and some of us chose to exit at around this point for a small profit of 40 to 50 pips, and some chose to stay in till approximately this point and were able to get over 100 pips, close to 120 pips on that trade, but everyone exited this trade at one point or the other. The Euro Aussie was definitely one of the best trading opportunities that happened this week, and it's very interesting and uncanny how we often gravitate towards the best currency pairs for trading and often are able to identify them in advance. This trade also required us to look at a range of time frames from the daily. If you see this pattern on here, you might see part of the picture as to why we chose to enter at a specific time, why we didn't enter at other times, and why we did not exit after entering this trade. The real entry required us to also go down to the 4 hour time frame and to the 1 hour time frame, where we entered the trade right about this point right in here. Depending on the exact moment that you chose to enter the trade, price could be a little bit higher or lower right in this point here. Now, why is it that we also chose not to exit this trade? We exited the euro versus the dollar. We chose not to exit this trade. Why is it that we chose not to enter short at any time before this? Why is it that we chose to enter the trade and go short right at that point and then chose not to exit the trade even up till now? This trade is still running for some of us. Some chose to go ahead and take profit before the market closed on Friday. This trade is currently up over 500 pips. Some people in the room traded this in two sections with more than 500 pips profit on those two trades. Now, the Aussie versus the US dollar is fairly closely correlated inversely to the euro versus the Aussie, and this was another one of the great trading opportunities of this week in which some people chose to enter this trade, also using a range of time frames from the daily down to the 1 hour. And interestingly, this trade has also not produced an exit signal even up to the close of the market on Friday, and some people chose to exit the trade because it appears to be very close to producing an exit signal, and what may happen could be that when the market opens on Monday, there could be a gap or a sudden move that would confirm the exit. So it was a good time to take profit. The Euro Swiss produced one of the trades that turned out to be a losing trade for some of us. Some of us chose to go short right here, and all the conditions were there, which you can't see on this chart, but there were specific reasons why this looked like an entry to go short and did not work out. Interestingly, however, the pound Swiss did produce another fantastic trading opportunity with a very clear exit. One gentleman in the room is still in this trade, I believe, from this point right here, where we also identified an entry several days in advance, and he has stayed in that trade for over 1,000 pips profit and a second entry of 500, so that last I knew he had 1,500 pips profit on the pound Swiss. Now, granted, if your schedule and lifestyle dictates that you need to trade on a shorter time frame, or if it's your personal preference to trade on a shorter time frame, we also reveal how to trade on all time frames, the 15-minute, 10-minute, 5-minute range, and a couple of pairs that produced fantastic trading opportunities around the 15-minute, 30-minute, 10-minute range. In that range of time frames were the pound Aussie, were the pound US dollar. If you were trading the pound US dollar on a time frame shorter than the 1 hour, you discovered several really good trading opportunities. And even better than this was the pound versus the Aussie. This pair had a whole series of fantastic shorting opportunities with really clear entries on the 30-minute, 15-minute time frame range. Plenty of opportunity for trading on time frames shorter than the 1 hour. Now for next week, the next step that we're looking for is really a turning point that represents the end of a trend. In the case of the Aussie, it's the end of an uptrend. In the case of the Euro Aussie, it's the end of a downtrend on the range of time frames around the 4 hour, and that point represents an exit. We're not really looking for an entry at this point. After the end of that trend, depending on what forms next, we expect to see some kind of a correction to that move down, which may produce an entry to go long that we expect to be on a time frame around the 1 hour, 30-minute, 15-minute time frame. And then the end of that correction, we expect to have another entry to go short. But this all depends on what forms, and we're not really predicting that this exact formation will form. We're going to refine our strategy as it's developing, and then later next week I can show you precisely how to enter once the market reveals to us the next piece that it's going to form. And there's a very specific step-by-step procedure for entering each of these next trades, and we need to look at that next week as it's forming. This has been another very fascinating and exciting and fun week of trading, and the atmosphere in our trading community this week has been one of celebration, as so many people have experienced major breakthroughs in their trading skill, something that they are developing, which they will possess for the rest of their life as professional traders. Incidentally, the Platinum Trading Group is closing this week. We don't want it to get too crowded in there. But if you're interested in finding out more about how you can develop this skill for yourself and have this feeling of power and confidence that you know that you're able to trade with a consistent, relatively high percentage of winning trades, just go to forextradingseminar.com.